Ashley here, and today I'm going to show you how to make a spore syringe. To get started, you'll need all the items listed here. Please check the video description for all the product links. Now, let's get started. Now let's start by assembling the modified lid. First, attach the luer cap and syringe filter. This allows gas exchange while preventing contamination. Then attach the luer barb with the silicone tube to the lid. This will be your extraction line. Next, we are going to cut down our silicone tube. These modified lids are made for a 32-ounce jar, and we will cut them down for a 16-ounce jar. I think the 16-ounce jars are better for spores, and the 32-ounce jars are better for LCs. Then the tube will be right at the bottom so you can suck up all of the liquid. The length of the tube is about 4.5 inches or 11.5 centimeters. Next, add the magnetic stirrer and syringe caps to the jar. These will help disperse and mix the spores evenly. Make sure to add these before you sterilize your jars. Then add your distilled water approximately to the 10-ounce fill line. Avoid tap as chlorine and minerals can harm the spores. Once filled, place the gasket on the jar rim with the beveled edge down against the glass and the smooth side up towards the lid. Finally, place the modified lid on top and screw on the metal band until it's just hand tight. No need to over tighten. Next, wrap aluminum foil securely over the top of the lid to protect the filter during sterilization. Once it's fully covered and secure, your jar is ready to go in the sterilizer. Next, sterilize the jars using a pressure cooker. Begin by placing the canning rack at the bottom of the pressure cooker. This keeps the jars elevated and prevents them from cracking due to direct contact on the bottom of the pot. Add about 10 cups of water or enough to create roughly 1.5 inches of water at the bottom. Then, carefully place the jars onto the rack, making sure they remain upright and stable. Next, secure the lid on the pressure cooker and turn on the stove. Allow the pressure to build until the cooker reaches 15 psi. Once it hits 15 psi, start your timer for 45 minutes and adjust the heat as needed to maintain a steady 15 psi throughout the entire sterilization process. When the 45 minutes are complete, turn off your heat and allow the pressure cooker to cool down naturally. Do not manually release the pressure, as doing so can cause the jars to crack or the water inside them to boil over. Once the pressure has fully returned to normal, carefully open the cooker and remove the jars. Let the jars cool to room temperature before adding spores, since high temperature will kill them. After removing the jars from the pressure cooker and allowing them to cool to room temperature, wrap a layer of parafilm around the outer edge of the lid. This added seal provides an extra barrier against contamination while the jars are being handled or stored. Now it's time to add the spores. At this stage, it's important to work as sterile as possible to minimize contamination. Before starting, I like to take a shower and put on clean clothes. I also lightly spray my hands and work area with 70% isopropyl alcohol to reduce the risk of introducing contaminants. Ideally, this step should be done in front of a laminar flow hood or inside a sterile airbox. Begin by loosening the lid of the jar slightly so it will be easy to remove when you are ready to add the spores. Using a sterile blade, carefully scrape the spores off the aluminum foil. I prefer using smaller jars for this step. Spore prints can sometimes carry contaminants, so working with smaller batches helps reduce the risk of losing a large amount of material if one print happens to be contaminated. Then carefully pour them into the jar. Once the spores have been added, secure the lid tightly and wrap a layer of parafilm around the outer edge of the lid. This provides an extra barrier against contamination. Finally, place the jar on a magnetic mixing plate and allow it to mix for about 1 minute to evenly distribute the spores throughout the liquid. Now it's time to draw the spore solution from the jars into the syringes. For this step, I recommend using a sterile two-way stopcock. This tool allows you to fill multiple syringes from the same jar while minimizing the introduction of air into the tubing, helping ensure that each syringe fills completely. Attach the stopcock to your jar and connect the first sterile syringe. Slowly draw the spore solution into the syringe until it's full. Before switching syringes, gently turn the stopcock to close the flow. This prevents air from entering into the system. Then remove the filled syringe and screw on a syringe cap to seal it. Then attach the next sterile syringe, open the stopcock, and continue drawing the solution. Repeat this process until all of your syringes have been filled. Finally, test each syringe from each batch on an agar plate to ensure the spore solution is free from contamination before using or distributing the syringes. Thank you so much for watching, and please let me know if you have any questions. Bye!